what are we gonna do with all of these zucchinis? Well, I have the solution. I know exactly what to do with these zucchini. One of my all-time favorite things, and one of the things that got me the most excited about growing zucchini is zucchini bread. I love it. So that's what we're going to show you how to do today. It's a great way to use some of the zucchini you've been growing, and it's a treat that everybody loves. So I've got a great recipe that I have used several times. It's actually a Paula Deen recipe. I mean, you can't go too wrong with that, right? I've made it several times and it has turned out perfect every time. And the thing I really love about this recipe is it includes chocolate chips. So we're gonna get started with the first part of the recipe, which is adding all of the dry ingredients. I've already pre-measured these things over here. It requires 3 cups of flour. And then we have, in this bowl right here, a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm going to add these all in. That is all of the dry ingredients I need. So I'm just going to kind of get those all mixed up together. And then we'll set this aside and go on to the next step. So now that we've got the dry ingredients ready to go, we're on to the next step. And one thing I need to do right now is prep the zucchini. I know a lot of people just peel or just grate the zucchini with the peel on. I don't like that. That's weird for me. So I 100% of the time peel the zucchini. But we can take the peelings out to our goats and chickens, or we can take them out to the compost. So never fear, it's not going to waste. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to peel this zucchini, and then I'm going to use this grater over here. And I'm going to grate 2 cups of zucchini, and then we'll go on with the next items on the list. Okay, so we're on to the next step. Got the zucchini all grated and measured, so we're set there. The next step in the recipe is 3 eggs, and then you whip or beat the eggs until they're light and fluffy. So that's what I'm gonna do. Eggs complement of the chickens on the Rock and Sea Homestead. Thank you very much, chickens. You're the best. So we've got the eggs, I think, beaten pretty well. They're light and fluffy. And next step is to add the sugar. We have 2 cups of white sugar. So I'm going to add that into the eggs, mix that up really good. Okay, I think we got that very well blended. So now we're going to add in the oil. Calls for a cup of oil. Got that right here. So we'll add in the oil. Calls for a teaspoon of vanilla. So I've got that here and I'll measure that in. Teaspoon of vanilla. There's that. Calls for then the zucchini, which we have right here, ready to go. Then it calls for pecans, whatever you want to call them. But I'm taking some of this to work. With me and with people and nut allergies and things like that, I usually find, unless it's just going to be Lance and I eating it, best to leave that kind of stuff out. So no pecans. Sad, but it's okay. It's still going to be tasty. And then you add in a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Get that all blended up. It also calls for orange zest, but I never have an orange to zest here at the house, and I haven't found leaving the orange zest out causes any kind of trouble, so I'm not too concerned about that. So I'm gonna get that blended up real good. Okay, so we've got all of our wet ingredients mixed up. Our dry ingredients from previous are right over here. I'm gonna mix this into this, and We're going to give it a good stir. I have heard and read and believe that you shouldn't over mix your zucchini bread batter. So we're just going to get it till it looks like everything is nice and mushed up, and then we're going to stop. Don't want to overwork it. Okay, so that's it. This is the batter. It's all mixed up. It's ready to go. I've got the oven turned on at 350. It's already preheated and it's also ready to go. This recipe specifically calls for using 2 9x5-inch loaf pans. I like the muffins, and so does Lance. So I'm gonna make, this recipe makes a lot. So I'm gonna make a dozen zucchini muffins, and I'm also gonna make 1 9x5 loaf pan. So we'll be able, this batter will fill all of this up. So we'll have all of that when we're done. I'm gonna go ahead and grease these because I don't wanna spend forever trying to scrape these out of the pans, because ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Just give them a little shot so nothing sticks. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, now we good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this loaf pan mostly filled up, and once I've got that done, I'll know what I have left to put into the muffin tin. All right, so like I said, I've got the oven set at 350 degrees, and I'm going to go ahead and put them all together on the same shelf. It says to cook them for 50 minutes, 50 minutes. The loaf pan will take a little bit longer. The muffin tins will take a little less time. So once I get these in the oven, I'm gonna set my timer for 40 minutes. I'm gonna come and check and see if the ones in the muffin tins are ready. They probably will be. And then I'll put them out on a wire rack to cool and let this guy finish up. Okay, it's been 40 minutes and the loaf pan is ready. It's ready. The recipe called for 50 minutes, but I set my timer for 40 and I actually checked on the muffins at 30. They were done. So the ones in the little muffin cups, those were done in 30 minutes. This was done in 40 minutes. So just make sure that when you follow your recipe, you set your time a little bit sooner and go and check on it, because we wouldn't want this to have been any more done than it is. So got everything out of the oven. I've got the oven turned off. I'm gonna move this over to a wire rack. I'm gonna let that cool just a little bit. And once it's cooled a little bit, I'll go ahead and take it out of the container and set it on some parchment paper here on this wire rack so that it doesn't stick inside of the containers. And then we're gonna eat some of this because it smells so good. Okay, so these have cooled down enough to dig in and give it a try. So I'm gonna try one of the muffins. Since they came out a little bit sooner, they're cool now. So cut that in half and you can see, oh, look at those chocolate chips. That looks so good. Add a little bit of softened butter on those bad boys. Ooh, look at that. See, they're still a little bit warm. They're so especially awesome right out of the oven. So this will be a good nighttime treat. Also be a great breakfast in the morning. Right, Lance?
Sure will be.
He agrees. They're going to be delicious. And then I'll be taking this loaf up to my office to share with my team. All right, let's give this thing a try. That's 2 thumbs up. Thanks, Paula Deen, for your awesome recipe. Okay, so that's the zucchini bread recipe that we've been using this summer. We've loved it so far. We've tried one other and it wasn't quite as good. So I keep coming back to this one. So this is the one that I really like. I'll post all the ingredients and maybe a link to where I found this recipe if you want to try it at your place. So it's a great way to use some zucchini. It doesn't taste like vegetables. So if you want to try to get some vegetables in someone's diet, I don't know, your kids, your husband, I don't know, then this is a great way to do that. Also uses up some of that zucchini you've been harvesting. So encourage you to give it a try. It's really tasty. I want to also thank you for coming back and checking out our video. We are well past the halfway point of our 31-day vlogathon. So if you haven't checked out the other videos in this series, they're all together in a playlist on our page. So go and check them out. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, now's a great time. So click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you know when we've uploaded a new video. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll have the links down below. So check us out there as well. Well, thanks for coming back. And from our homestead to you, we hope you have a blessed day. Bye.